What's up, you guys? This is going to be my review on Spider-Man Homecoming. I just got back from seeing it today, opening day. If you have not seen it yet, you probably may not want to watch this, because there's going to be spoilers, so go watch it. And then come back here and watch this. Well, let's get into it. I think this movie was such a really good movie. I think this is a much better Spider-Man movie than I thought than Spider-Man's 1, 2, and 3 with Tobey Maguire. Even though I really enjoyed the Amazing Spider-Man movies with Simon Garfield, I think his name was. But I think Tom Holland is a better Spider-Man, I think. And like I said, I thought this was really good. And I like this Spider-Man. It basically, starts out that he's in high school, that he already has his powers, but they don't really do an origin story, like the other ones did. Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man did, because, everybody already knows the origin story, and you don't need to redo it every time they have a new Spider-Man franchise. And I think with this one, it was really good how they did it. And I like that, they kind of started, he's 15 years old, and a sophomore in high school, in 10th grade, and he's still trying to, figure out himself, as a person in high school, going through all the stuff, that you do in high school, and trying to balance that with being a superhero, being Spider-Man. And he is actually, really trying to figure out how he fits in as a superhero, trying to find himself being Spider-Man. And trying to balance and all that. And I really like how, his suit, he has the Spider-Man suit that Tony Stark had actually, built for him back in the Captain America Civil War movie. Still the same suit. And you kind of really get to see more of the functions and the functionality of the suit that he actually ends up having this, he has his friend, I forgot what his name was, but his little friend, he ends up finding out that he's Spider-Man. And this guy, he's really cool to see the interaction through the whole movie between Peter Parker and his friend. And they end up hacking the system of his suit. And it said that, they had safety protocols as the training wheels protocol, so he ended up hacking that. And he had all these really cool different stuff that the suit could do. I think he had like over 500 different types of web designs and web things he could do with that. So it's kind of, really interesting to really see how he was kind of trying to figure all that out too at the same time. So, that's pretty cool. It's such an awesome suit. And I kind of liked how, he did that. But I also liked Michael Keaton as the Vulture. I thought, Michael Keaton, I think, is such a great actor. And I think he really did this this character justice, because this is the first time that they've ever had had the character Vulture in any movies, actual live action movies. And with his character, he kind of basically starts off the beginning of the movie with the Vulture. It's at the time of, right after the first Avengers movie, after, the attack on New York City. And he's basically like a cleanup guy. He has a crew, and he has brought all these big trucks to clean out all the Centaurian metal and all their technology. And then this group comes in and basically takes over. And then 8 years after, it jumps to now, like 8 years after the Centauri attack, you find Michael Keaton's character, the Vulture. He is, him and his crew has basically been going around stealing technology from Stark Tower. The old Avengers base there. and taking all his stuff from like the Atari and using all this technology to make his own stuff. And he made his, his suit, his big wings and everything, and he's been using that to go steal it and making weapons out of it and going out and selling it on the black market for a profit. And, basically Spider-Man, ends up, kind of coming in and ruining that for him. So, it's kind of cool to, I finally see this character, and I thought, that was such a cool character, and Michael Keaton, I think, did such a fantastic job in portraying the character, because he's, like you said, he's a phenomenal actor. And then you get Tony Stark. He actually does make appearances in the movie, but it's not really, like too much. They really don't rely on Tony Stark very much through the whole movie. He's, been in there, and, a few good little scenes here and there when he's needed. But, he's even shown up as Iron Man in the Iron Man suit. Try to help out Spider-Man when he gets into trouble. Especially when he get into trouble for hacking the suit, and he get in trouble for fighting Vulture on the Staten Island ferry, and the part where it got cut in half. He comes and saves his ass, and at that point, Tony Stark basically takes the Spider-Man suit away from Peter Parker, and he says that you can't have it, and he said that if you're nothing without the suit, then you don't deserve it. So he has to go back to his little costume he made before, and for a lot of the movies and that, fighting the Vulture, and he actually through that, when the Vulture hijacked Tony Stark's plane from Avengers Tower, and they're moving all the stuff, and then he actually was able, Spider-Man actually was able to take him down, and that whole fight scene where the plane's invisible, and they were he had the guy, one of his crew guys, the Vulture they made this really cool high altitude suit that I guess sucks it up and makes it airtight lock. So that's kind of cool. And he was trying to steal it, and ended up the whole plane crashed, and that's kind of a whole cool scene. How it crashed on the beach, and then at that point, he actually, Tony Stark actually gave him back the suit because he earned it, and then it was really cool that he got that, and then at the end of the movie, he actually offered him a job there at for the Avengers. Is at their new Avengers facility, the one that that we saw, like Ant-Man, and the one that was in the new Captain America movie, that new one that's upstate. And Tony Stark actually made Spider-Man a better suit, a better Spider-Man suit, and that one was badass. It had like his little Spider-Man logo and stuff all over it, and it looked like he was kind of made out of the same material and armor that Iron Man costumes and suits are made of. That's what it looked like. It was made out of that type of material, and that was so badass. And they actually offered to give him a spot on the Avengers team, and he declined. That he wanted to, stay as the neighborhood Spider-Man. And the funny little part is, after he got back home, Tony returned his suit back to him, and on his bed in a little paper bag, he opens it up and puts it on, and he's all tried it out, and he takes off the mask, and you can see his Aunt May, which is played by Marissa Tomei. She's in in a few scenes here and there too, and she's standing at the door behind him, and he doesn't even know it. And through the whole movie, she does not know that he's Spider-Man until that moment, as he kind of turns around and sees her, and she's like, "What the fuck?" And then it ends. So at the end of the movie, she finds out that her nephew Peter Parker is the Spider-Man. So that's kind of cool that she found out. And a couple things that I thought was kind of weird about the movie, that Zendaya, she plays in this movie, and I thought she'd have a bigger role, but she's only in maybe 6 or 7 different little parts there throughout the movie, and nothing against her, but I just think that she really was just like a random person in the movie, and I don't think that Zendaya really needed to be in the movie because she didn't play, MJ, or she didn't play Gwen or any of his love interests, for Peter Parker. And she played some gal named Michelle, and she just had some random parts in it, and pretty much they were all kind of like, she was just kind of like saying all these like, jokes and kind of like, offhanded, excuse me, offhanded jokes, kind of a little vindictive, she kind of almost, enjoys poking fun at people. And that was it. That's just kind of like, it still would have been a good movie still, even if she wasn't in it. So I'm not really sure why she was in it. I guess we're going to have to, see who else it is. And they have this gal in there. Her name is Liz, I think. And that's the gal that he is is in love with. And she actually was able to take her to the prom. And then when he picked her up for the prom, come to find out that her dad is the Vulture. And so that was kind of like, what? Kind of a cool, crazy thing to happen. Find out that, the gal that he's in kind of love with, has a big crush on, her dad's, the villain. And that was, kind of cool. Kind of crazy. And one of the other things I really liked is, again, going back to the suit, I already thought the suit was cool, how, he had all this technology that Tony Stark put into it. It had like a voice in it, kind of like his Iron Man suit had Jarvis. This was one, I forget what Peter Parker named her, but as a female, but she would, had all these cool gadgets in it, like it would video tape him, record him. It's called that program is called the Baby Monitor, because Iron Man kind of thinks he's like a little kid and he has to treat him like one, and it always records him every time he has it on, and he was trying to identify the bad guys selling the weapons. And there's another funny part in it, was that he had the mask on. He had a little hammer that you tenderize the meat with. He's like, "I'm Thor," poking fun of him. So that's kind of cool. And it had a lot of other technology in it too. Like you can check out people's faces, face scan. You get all their background. You could do like thermal cameras and tracking. I mean, kind of all this cool stuff. Almost kind of like a lot of stuff, maybe what Iron Man suit would do. I mean, so all that was kind of cool. I mean, all in all, I really think this is, such a fantastic movie. And I kind of, like you said, I kind of liked how they set it back in when he was in high school instead of an adult. And I think with that, they could, do more movies with it, follow him through high school and get into, like after he's gets out of, graduates high school, becomes an adult. And so that's going to be, kind of interesting to see what they do with it. And since he kind of declined the offer to become the Avengers, it's going to be interesting to see how he's going to fit into the Avengers Infinity War, because I know that he's supposed to be in that. So it's going to be kind of cool to see how they worked him into that. I think that comes out in 2019, I think. And there is 2 post-credit scenes, and you see the Vulture, Michael Keaton's character. He's in jail, and he's walking down the corridor, and one of the other guys that he has working with him, is in jail, and he has contacts that on the outside saying that, that they're going to try to kill Spider-Man, and that they're going to, basically try to get him killed, and said that they know that, I guess the word out was that Michael Keaton's character, knew the identity of Spider-Man. He said, if I did, he would have been dead. So it's kind of going to be kind of cool to see if he's going to be in future films. I'd like to see him in them, because he's a really cool character. So yeah, if you haven't seen it, I say go see it. Take your kids to it. It's a family movie. It's really fun, and it's very enjoyable. I highly recommend it, and all the hype for it is true. I think it's great. And that's going to be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, drop a like on it, and don't forget to share the video. And while you're at it, don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you can stay up to date with all my movie reviews and other content that I have on my channel. So go check all that out. Until next time, peace out.